Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. And today is not going to be a pleasant video. Today is going to be a video where I will, in the best case scenario, try to force Kabam's hand, because Alliance War currently is borderline unplayable, not just because of the bugs, not just because of the game stability issues we experienced over the last couple of days. Those are definitely very degrading and frustrating factors, but possibly mainly due to an exploit that Kabam still hasn't addressed. And I will get to exploit bit, but before I do, obviously I do have to accent the fragility of Alliance War, and more specifically Alliance War Season, compared to any other game mode. And what do I mean by it? For instance, on Saturday we had the game become extremely unstable. I was grinding Arena and I got kicked out like 3 or 4 times on the stream in a space of 40-50 minutes. Now, as I'm grinding Arena, it obviously is unpleasant. It sucks. I get kicked out and I lost a match. Some people can lose a streak, and it's an inconvenience. At best, it's somewhat frustrating, the fact that I lost some arena points. Eventually, it did no harm to me, my gameplay, or my account. It was just very, very frustrating. Now, if you're playing a quest, obviously it annoys you more if you have to redo a lane and waste some energy, or if you lose half a health or entire health. Well, I don't know how which quest works when you disconnect, but it would be more frustrating than Arena for sure if you try to do Act 6 or Abyss, perhaps waste a revive or something. And then the next step up is obviously Alliance Quest. Alliance Quest, it's ever so more painful because you have limited amount of items, so you have to be more careful. And obviously these items are significantly more expensive. But the most fragile game mode is Alliance War, because you do not play just for yourself. Because it doesn't matter if you heal up and finish the fight. You already have given away that death. That death might be the reason your alliance loses the war and possibly ranks in a lower bracket at the end of the season. So one single disconnect can carry over residual effects for 30 other people for over a month. And the worst case scenario in Alliance Quest, if you do disconnect and you lose half your health, and if that somehow is the reason why you are unable to complete your lane and you get less points, that effect lasts only for a week, and it's much more likely that you'll still be able to finish that path. It will just cost you some items. But in Alliance War, it doesn't work that way. Once something has happened, it has happened. There is no takebacks, there is no do-overs. It doesn't matter that you finish that path or finish the fight if you have given away the death in a war. And therefore, any issues with the game are always the most sensitive in the war, which is again part of the reason why so many people refuse to play the war. Other parts being lack of proper rewards for the investment required to rank highly, or just perhaps the competitive nature of it, or whatever else. But that certainly is up there as one of the biggest reasons, because every time something does go wrong, you carry over residual effects of it for a very long time. If you do your best and still die in a war fight, it affects the season, right? And then that obviously messed up quite many people on this Saturday, and a lot of disconnect deaths were given at war. But that in itself wouldn't even be the major problem with this current season or even the previous season. Then we have the second layer of bugs, which are going unaddressed. And again, they are the most painful in Alliance War for pretty much exactly the same reasons that I mentioned before. Because it costs much more to heal up, because your residual effects carry implications for over a month for every single alliance mate of yours. And we have had a ton of borderline game-breaking bugs. We're talking about Spider-Ham previous season, and nothing got done. Nobody got compensated, or War Season didn't get delayed or postponed. We could see screenshots with 8 Spider-Hams on defense placed or something like that on every single path, just hoping somebody's gonna crash. Now, we have had consistent issues with persistent charge in Alliance War, which Kabam is seemingly unable to fix, which again can carry significant implications in Alliance War. And most recently, we have seen the bug, which I can demonstrate here once again. It's with Apocalypse. I think Lizer from for Loki Alliance showcased the same bug, and this one is from a teammate of mine, where champions just randomly start dashing in Apocalypse's Special 2, literally in the middle of Special 2. Now, this all messes with the whole point of Alliance War. Quite literally, I think 4 out of 6 or 5 out of 6 deaths ASR gave away during the last war were either connection issues or issue like this. Here you can see, and all of a sudden we just run in for no reason whatsoever. And you can say that he dashed in, but the same thing happened when he dueled. He actually sent us like filmed material for this thing as well. And yeah, and Lizer and several other people have had the exact same problem where the champions just start to rush in. And that's, at that point, is not serious Alliance War anymore. If you are much more in a mercy of whether Kabam treats you fairly and how many bugs you can avoid, rather than whether you actually make any mistakes in the fight, then competitive nature of Alliance will lose its meaning. But here is a bigger thing that is also currently happening in Alliance War, and I know that there are a lot of people who will hate that I even mention it, because, well, either I'm not supposed to know, or if I'm supposed to know, I'm not supposed to tell anyone. And here is the big exploit in Alliance War that currently is gaining traction in more and more teams. And it's quite simple. It's apparently if you force close a fight in Alliance War and you do not open the game back up until the war is over, that death does not register. Now, it's not always it's not always viable plan. If you go on one of the paths and die in section 1, obviously you can't just take the rest of the war off. Or can you, if you have a backup? Perhaps you can. But it's mainly being used for mini boss and boss fights, from what I have heard. And this video, again, is not meant to name any names. I couldn't care less who knows about it or who has done it. I simply want to put it out there. I want as many people to know about as possible, and I want Kabam to fix it. Because then it becomes less about who's able to finish a fight, more about who's able to force close the game quickly enough in case you mess up. So to be clear, and so no one misunderstands what I'm saying right here and right now, I'm not encouraging everybody to use this glitch/exploit. But I am encouraging everybody to talk about it and bring it to Kabam's attention. And again, it is a very simple thing. You can force close your fight when you see that you are about to die in Alliance War, and the death will not register up until you log back in the game. Now, if you don't log back in until the war is over, the death does not register for the war ever, because the results have been accounted for. So it's very simple. If you are about to die in Alliance War. You can just force close the game. Don't log back in the game until the war is finished, and then your teammate can go and give it a go. Maybe they can do better. If they can't and they are about to die, they're also perfectly free to force close the game, stay out of the game, and send in a third person. Perhaps the third person is luckier. If they are, they can go and finish the map. Just make sure the first two people who died on that mini-boss or were about to die on that mini-boss don't log back in until the war's over, and you're gonna win that war. It's quite as simple as that. And it makes the war stupid. So I do hope it's fixed. I do hope it's addressed. And I do hope you guys help me make sure that Kabam fixes this issue in particular by forcing their hand. And again, to be clear, I'm not encouraging anybody to use this. But I am encouraging everybody to let everybody else know that it can be done. And ask what they think about it. Either way, not a very nice video thus far. And that is about it for today's video. Really don't know how I feel about Alliance War overall right now, with all of these issues floating in there, going unaddressed, and Kabam just carrying on pretending everything's normal. Kabam pretending that disconnects mid-fight on ridiculous frequency and normal, incredible lag spikes, apocalypse bug, persistent charge bug, everything else is just peachy. But at the very least, the last thing that I talked about, the force close exploit, that is something they possibly cannot ignore. I'd hope so, at least. Either way, that is it for me now. Let me know what you guys think, and I'm gonna catch you guys soon. See ya. Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. So we have all the information about